Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make polymer clay pins. This is just the techniques that I use, how I make them, because I was making them the other day and I thought I may as well film it and share it with you guys and run you through the process that I use, just sharing, caring and all of that. I've also made my own packaging, which will be shown in my studio vlog, which should be in the next week or two, all behind the scenes of making that as well, rather than putting it in this video because it was quite lengthy. But yeah, really happy with how they have turned out. I made these the other day in order to go in a shop update, which is coming on this Sunday, so Sunday 13th at 6 p.m. UK time, I think. Yeah, really excited for that. It's going to be filled with loads of spooky, or I should say spoopy little characters, super cute little Halloween pieces, which will be coming on Sunday, like I said. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed today's video and enjoy just watching me make some polymer clay pins. Okay, so step one is sculpting and baking your actual charm. In order to do this, I use polymer clay, obviously, because these are polymer clay pins, and I use the polymer clay by Fimo, and I use the soft Fimo in the colour Flesh or Rose, depending on what country you're in. Just the skin tone. I like the texture of it. I find that different colours are different textures, they mould easier, and I just found that I like this one and it's a perfect base to paint on. So I use a ceramic tile for my pins as well as my charms, mainly all of my clay, just because I like to sculpt on them. As you can see, this one here is fully covered in paint from the amount of times I've painted my charms on them. But when I have new ones, I just bake the clay, like charms and pins and stuff, straight on them. I don't bother transferring them to like parchment paper or baking trays or anything, because you could just paint on them. So I use a very limited amount of tools on my pins. I use like just scissors, dotting tools. I also reinforce some bits using craft wire, like the stalks of these pumpkins, for example, or like wings of bats, or even like with these ones with lollipops. I make sure to have a full like line of craft wire going through, so that any delicate parts are then reinforced, you know, because the UV resin goes so far, but then the wire really does help them out. As you can see here, I'm making the bat body, and in order to reinforce the bat wings, I'm going to be placing two larger pieces of craft wire going through where I'm going to be putting those wings. So I cut it down with a wire cutter and actually just use the wire cutter to put the wire into the polymer clay body. I do all this obviously before baking, so that it's all nicely inside there, and once it cooks down and bakes down and hardens up and cures and everything, it's all really secure on there. You can also use bacon bond. I don't bother, I really keep it as simple as possible, just blending with a dotting tool and my fingers. I don't even really use a craft knife, I just go for it, really just pick up whatever I have. At most I use scissors if I want like a really blunt edge, but I am really just unsafe with craft knives, so I don't bother. I put them all on a baking tray like so and bake them in my normal oven. So once your clay charms are then baked, you want to take them out of the oven obviously and leave them cool down. I leave mine for around about half an hour, and then I get started on the base layer painting. So I use acrylic paint to paint my charms along with the pins, everything like that. I always use acrylic paints. The main paints that I like to use, the brands Pebeo or Royal and Langnickel. I really rate the Pebeo ones, although they are a little bit more expensive. I just find that they work so well, and if I'm selling a piece, I want to use the best possible paints I can, and these ones here just seem to be the best. I love them, I love working with them, I love the finish they provide, and yeah, the Pebeo ones are for me. The Studio Acrylics by Pebeo, by the way. Just to let you know. So I paint on all the base colours, as you can see. Some of them have more base colours than the other, like the ghost is just white, and then the candy corn obviously has the three. The like lolly here has the lolly stick, as well as a blue swirl on a pink background at the top. So I just take it in turns between removing each lot of the base layers on the pins. So just like kind of mix and match them on their tiles. So moving on to step 3, and this is where you're going to put your details on, but I don't do that straight away. I actually glaze the back of them first using a UV resin with glitter mixed in. I use a glitter resin to begin with, cure that down, use a clear resin on top of that, like the UV resin, cure that down with the UV light, and then I do another layer of curing of the UV clear light. That made no sense, that was really backwards. But I do 3 layers of UV resin in total, curing it all down obviously in between each layer, and the first layer has a ton of iridescent glitter in. I do this so that when I turn them around, I could just, you know, blue tap them all down and then paint on all the details. So the one on this pink tile here needed an extra layer of detail, so I just went in and painted that with the acrylic paint and left them to dry whilst I worked on the ones on the purple tile. So using most of the details, I use a Posca paint pen. I find them to be really, really effective. Sometimes they do crack, so I would trial and error, just play around with them, see what you can do. You don't want to heat dry these in a fan or anything because they will crack even more, so you just want to let them dry down at their own time. But I find them really effective and quick and efficient to draw on faces, rather than me using like a little nail art brush or something, which is what I used to do. But yeah, the Pebeo acrylic paints are a lifesaver in the pens, just love them. So once I have all the black on the faces, I then move on and put the pink on, once obviously that black bit has dried down. I use a dotting tool as well as a end of a barbecue skewer or like a cocktail wooden stick type thing to put the dots on the eyes. I used to use a mini dotting tool, but I found this to be much easier. The paint doesn't clump up on it, and you know, it works, it does the job. I then glaze the top part of the charms in the exact same way as I did the base. I do the back first and then the top after, so the top can be really neat and yeah, finish really well. So once the whole charm is then resined and glazed up, I then attach the pins. So to attach mine, I actually just use a really strong super glue, and then I just pin them like backs down on there, and then once that is dried, I then use another coat of UV resin going over the pin itself, and then I cure that down with my UV light again, and this just gives them the last layer of stability that you want on your pins. Okay, so this is how all of my pieces have turned out. I've just put them on the backing cards. As you can see, they're looking super adorable. So I've actually filmed the process of this on a studio vlog, which will be coming in the next week or so. So if you want to see how I made these, then you can stick around for that, because it was quite a lengthy process and this video has, you know, already become quite long. So yeah, I've just packaged them up onto their backing cards, which I hand made, and then I put them into their own little cello bag like so. They're looking so adorable and I'm so happy. So they are just clipped on here with their little butterfly clasps there, which is so cute. I know some people prefer rubber clasps, so I think I'm going to put a rubber one in with each of the pin as well. Like I said at the beginning of this video, these are going to be in my shop, so I will leave my Etsy store down below. They're going to be updated and added to the shop on Sunday, which is when my little Halloween shop update is going to be happening. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you got a little bit of inspiration, some tips and tricks, you know, coming from this video. I absolutely love how these have turned out, especially with their packaging and everything. Just all together are a gorgeous little piece. Like I said, they are coming in a shop update this Sunday, so on my Etsy store they will all be listed. I have very limited amount of each design, but I'm very, very happy with how they have all turned out. They're all a little bit different, obviously, as they are handmade by me from start to finish, as you would have seen in this video. So yeah, hopefully you have enjoyed it, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye!